Okay, good. You are an embodied reflection of Source. You are thus infinitely empowered, abundant, and a co-creator with your context always. You are an alchemist. Divination works because the web of life is intelligently organized with coordinated and storied agency. Let's take a look at the stories playing out now. Hi everyone. So we have two new beginnings occurring for all of us on a collective basis at our Aquarius new moon that's coming up on February 8th. The first is the Sabian Symbology that's imbued at the degree point, the 19-degree Aquarius degree point of this particular new moon. Fascinating symbol, a large white dove bearing a message. Now, a lot of us are working through exponential levels of transparency, the release of any remnants of self-delusion, getting completely clear about ourselves, about various things in our lives, what's been going on. And this message here, a large white dove bearing a message, is talking about clarity descending. So after many months, in fact, over the course of much of 2015, many people were feeling quite stuck or confused, or there were many threads, possibilities, potentials, and there was no clarity about which direction to go. This is talking about clarity arrives. There's a different energy that is supporting movement. Now, we get into the new Chinese New Year. The red fire monkey begins on this new moon. So the actual point of the Chinese New Year with the new animal, the new energies that coming into play, takes place on the second new moon after the winter solstice. And this year of the fire monkey is so supportive of moving all of the insights, the intuitions, the ideas, the projects that have been wanting to come into play over the course of the last 12 to 24 months. So be prepared. This year is going to be active, clever, playful, adventurous, a bit of a trickster element at play, sassy. This is about being discerning. This is about going with the flow. This is about really owning your power, kind of stepping into a new state of confidence, which is very exciting. So we're all going to be fed by this fire monkey year. Now, one thing I want to mention before we move on is that the new moon symbol, a large white dove bearing a message, is interesting in that over the course of the summer, if you recall, we had two events that occurred at the 21-degree Leo point, and that symbol was a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. Interesting. We had Venus conjunct Jupiter at that point, and we had a new moon later in the summer at that same point. So we had then a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission, and now here we are 6 months later, a large white dove bearing a message. So don't be clear and don't be fooled. This is a time of clarity. It is at hand for you if you take it, if you sit, if you become still, if you meditate. There is information that can come to you now. It's a ripe time for you to, one, gain clarity, and two, move forward like the monkey. Cancer, welcome to your I Ching throw. So we are going to do the I Ching coin throw live this month. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I'm excited to do this for you. So we're pulling your I Ching hexagram, and as we pull the Sabian symbol to pull up the storyline that's flavoring this new moon cycle, I am throwing the I Ching to pull up the energy set that's underpinning for the demographic, underpinning the energy for the demographic of, in this case, Cancers. Okay, so let's look at your microcycle and see what comes up for your hexagram. Now the coins, when you throw the coins, there are, of course, two sides, heads and tails, and they have different values. So the heads have a value of 3, the tails have a value of 2. And it delivers either a solid line or a broken line. Now, in the way that it's originally done, especially when throwing the coins, the different values either give simple lines or transforming lines. Because I'm doing general readings here, I'm just calculating these as and interpreting them as simple lines. So essentially I'm pulling up the foundational I Ching hexagram that is the energy set for the month. Cancer. The solid lines are masculine lines. They are called light lines. They're like solar lines, the sun, action-based. The broken lines are receptive lines. They are associated with the feminine. They're known as dark lines. Cancer. Okay, one more. You always build the hexagrams from the bottom up. We're building one trigram and then another. And I should say you can use any kind of coins for this process. Okay, so let's see what you have here. So you have 3 solids, and you have 1 broken, and then you have 2 solids. This is 1 trigram, that's the upper trigram, and that's the lower. And this one is Chi-En, and the upper there is Soon. And as I said on the other readings, you know, I'm quite confident I'm not pronouncing those correctly, but you get the general idea there. So if we look at that combination, Soon above, Chien below, we have number 9, small influences. So Cancer, let's get going on your spread. So During this month, I'm using the fabulous Bral Talej Divination deck. This deck was, as I've said on the other scopes, one of my first. I had tarot decks before this one, but this was the first really potent experience I had with cards. And I was becoming potent at the time that I bought the cards. And so I essentially attracted it to me. I met it. I met this deck, and it was the catalyzing tool that really was the foundation, was the inspiration for my personal deck that you see me use most months in these alchemy scopes. So this was not only the inspiration for my own deck, but it was the energetic charging deck that I used to really empower my own private deck. And it is indeed a very, very deliciously powerful deck. This was developed by a woman named Shama Viola in the northern Italian community of Damenier. She was inspired to create this deck. She's a resident there. She used the artwork that was created by the founder named Falco, and then she incorporated the symbols of the language that were channeled forward via Falco and that community. So Cancer, what event, circumstance, or situation is likely to be coming forward for you during this month? This is, of course, our Aquarius new moon cycle that begins on February 8th. Oh my God. Oh, Cancer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'll explain this in a moment. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, you might not be able to see all of these, but don't worry. I will lift them up so you can see them. Wow, wow, wow. Cancer. Okay. So there's a couple things here. Let me see if I can adjust these just a bit. It's a little crowded, but I really wanted to have the flowers on the table, so I'll lift these up so you can see them. There's a couple things here that's very, very, very significant. This card here, the big card, has come forward for at least 3 other signs in the exact same position as it is coming up for you, which is in the foundational position. So the bottom of this spread is representing 3D reality. It's representing your foundations of what's happening this month. There is big movement going on for essentially everybody this month. Certainly for you, and inclusive of countless other signs. I just can't get over how it's coming up. Now, let's finish looking at this base of this foundation section. I mean, we'll look at the whole spread, but the breaking card is coming up here. So it could be that there is a significant separation or a significant break that is working for you, because what's happening is the soul and the manifesting card are all coming forward here. So what's coming up is that there's a big break that is occurring in your foundation. So it could be home, it could be family, it could be there is something significant in your life that might be there's a separation or a break or some kind of disruption. But it is necessary for your soul journey. It's necessary. It's a necessary manifestation. So whatever is occurring, it needs to happen. It's part of your soul journey. Okay? So take it with a grain of salt. Take it with honor. Take it in a mature, new perspective way. Now, emotionally, you're feeling, it could be that you're accessing a new level of emotion, or emotionally you're feeling new things, like a new level of interest, delight, inspiration. You're feeling new things. And you're tuned in to new things that are showing up for you. Because in the spiritual section, you not only receive the Mission of the Soul card, which is essentially about you aligning with your truth, with your soul print, with your soul path, with your optimal work, with that which brings you the greatest joy, but you're receiving the Synchronicity card. Some of them, you'll notice that the language at the bottom, they mixed up the English translation, so you'll see Italian at the bottom on some of the cards. But there's great synchronicity happening for you with regards to your soul work and about making it real. Now keep in mind, the manifesting card is coming up in the foundational section. So there's big movement happening for you that might involve some break, some shift, some disruption. However, it is synchronistic. It's synchronistic. It's moving you toward your soul journey. Cancer. I mean, again, let me just say, this is a general reading. This is intended, this is guided and intended for those who are radically awakening. This is a soul evolutionary spread. This is not going to apply to everybody. Not everybody's going to be awake. Not everybody's going to be tuned in. But for those of you tuning in here, and this is resonating for you, this message is for you. Now, at the center section, there's action. During this cycle, Cancer, you are inspired to take action, and you're inspired to take it both in ways that are kind of small and logistical, as well as planning. Like you're planning your action for down the road. You're maybe seeing the big picture and making a schedule and a plan for yourself. So you're looking near and far. So you're taking action, you're planning your action, and you're looking at it both immediate, what action needs to be done now, soon, and the action that you're seeing needs to be done far away, down the road. Beautiful. I mean, it's like you're really, for a lot of you, you're really connected. Something is coming into play for a lot of you that is going to activate your drive, your desire. Now, what I said on some of the other readings, not all of them actually, is, we're moving into, with this new moon, we move into the red monkey, the red fire monkey Chinese New Year. This is a very moving, dynamic, forward, propelling year with multiple threads of action and activity and deliciousness. This is going to be a very rich year. Now, you know what's interesting for you? You know what, Cancer? This is what I want to say. Now, in the center for you, you receive the action card, far away, near. So you might be determining whether or not to stay close, like to stay where you're living now, because the home card is what you're thinking about. You're thinking about home. Where are you living? But you might be thinking about movement. So with regards to home, you're thinking about moving. And you're thinking about perhaps taking an adventure, going on a journey, taking a risk. And if that's the case, then this action card about far away and near is talking about it might be that you're deciding, that you're actually making a choice, kind of like the Two of Swords. You're making a decision. Do you go far or do you stay close? So for those of you that are having some disruption with regards to your foundational reality, right? Which could be home, which could be car, which could be your body. This is about physical reality. But it is catalyzing your soul journey, and you're thinking about movement, and this could be moving home. You're thinking about it with regards to where you're living, where you're actually residing, and you're thinking about adventures. What is it that you want to manifest for yourself? But you might also be remembering what you've forgotten, like the places that resonated for you that you've forgotten about. So it's almost like you're thinking about that that hasn't been on your mind for a while. A place perhaps far away that you had forgotten about, or a time far away that you had forgotten about. It's like your mind is going to be bringing up stuff that used to be there, and during this cycle, with all this activation and change going on for you, you are letting it motivate your action set about near and far, about immediate and future. Cancer, wow, I mean, again, for the big card to come up so many times in this exact placement for so many signs during the cycle is just, it is just juicy. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just juicy. So let's pull an angel card for you, yeah, and see what's coming up. This is the angel cards that were developed in Findhorn in Scotland. And I do believe they were originally part of the transformation game, and then after the game was established, they became their own separately sold cards. But the transformation game, if you're not familiar with it, is a tremendously delicious board game that is you do with a group of 4 to 8, I think it is, and it's really quite something. Cancer. Well, isn't this interesting, Cancer? Look what you're getting. This is the guidance for you during the cycle. Flexibility. Indeed, if you are having some significant shifts going on in your physical reality at this time, yes, flexibility will be called for. But trust, know that nothing is wrong. The disruptions are happening because they are necessary. They are catalyzing events that are pushing you more in your aligned, evolved soul state. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. Trust, be flexible, because you might be going for a ride. I think a lot of people are riding the wave over the course of the cycle, and we can choose to be frightened and push it away and resist it, or we can choose to really confront it and really take it on and really grow ourselves mindfully. Cancer, let's look at your Dakini Goddess and see what embodiment, if you were to step in to the bones of this particular goddess, how could it move you through this cycle with greatest joy and least effort? Let's take a look and see what Dakini is coming up for you now. Cancer, so now let's move on to the final component of your scope. Here I use Penny Slinger 64 Dakini Oracle to pull up the Dakini from this pantheon of 64. She is a goddess, and she is bringing forward the embodiment. Who are you to become? Whose skin are you to walk in over the course of this cycle if You wish to walk it with least effort and optimal flow. You are receiving number 16, Apsara Cultura. This is what Penny writes. Apsara abides in the heavenly regions and flows into being like water as she dances in the water palaces, reflecting divine sensibility. Apsaras are female spirits of the clouds and waters in Hindu and Buddhist mythology. They are referred to as celestial nymphs and are heavenly beings who delight with their dance, their beauty, their music, and their song. I am going to read two components here for you, Cancer. The first is the Dakini transmission for Apsara, and the second is her affirmation for you. The transmission is this. I come from the heavenly abode. In song and dance I do unfold. Delights to grace the earthly sphere with what the gods enjoy and hear. The music flows like perfumed air, and I dance for you here as I do up there. Apsara's affirmation for you is this. I am worthy of beauty and grace. I bring these qualities into my being and my world. I find elegant solutions. I move through all experience as a dancer, performing on the stage of life for the goddesses and the gods. Cancer, have a beautiful month ahead. A reminder for any couples out there that I'm having an $88 special couples relationship spread personalized video, along with a free offering throughout the entire month of February. It is the archetypal profile for relationships. So the free offering is the profile that looks at the archetypal stories that live between you and your partner. So for anybody that orders their private video couples reading, I will provide a free relationship archetypal profile throughout the month of February. A great offer. I wish you a beautiful month. Talk to you soon. Bye.